Class in business and economics. Today is the second class, and we will discuss the application of definite integral in business and economics. In our previous lecture of application of differential calculus in integral calculus in business and economics, we discuss about the application of indefinite integrals. So today we will discuss the application of definite integral, especially how to find consumer surplus and producer surplus in business and economics. We'll try to learn. So in this part, we'll try to understand what is consumer surplus and producer surplus, first of all. Then we'll try to solve this four problem for finding consumer surplus and producer surplus. Actually, you must know consumer surplus related to the demand function and producer surplus related to the supply function. So if the producers demand function and supply function meets at a point, and it is called actually equilibrium point or break-even point. So first of all, we have to know about what is definite integral. Actually, definite integral, you must know about definite integral in your previous semester. It is represented by the following notation. There is an integral from a to b. B is the upper limit and a is the lower limit. So, and f of x is a function, given function, and dx with respect to x. This is nothing but the area finding the curve as shown figure. Actually, to find out the area of a specific given function, we have to use definite integral. So definite integrals, it takes a specific value and free from the variable x and an arbitrary constant c. Okay, in the following, a is called the lower limit of the integration, while b is known as the upper limit, and f of x is the given function, and this function with variable x. So the integration will be with respect to x. So this is the basic rules of integration. You must know this is the power rule. Power rule x to the power n integration equals to x to the n plus 1 divided by n plus 1. And we must add the constant for indefinite integral. Rules 2 is the exponential rule. And rule 3, logarithm rule, 1 by x formula ln x, okay, plus c. And number 4, function derivatives of a function e to the power the given function will be e to the power given function after integration. So this is the division rule, differentiation of any function divided by the original function will be the ln original function after integration. So this is actually basic rule for finding definite integral. And basic rules of operation of integration is the sum rule and multiple constant multiple rule. And this is the substitution rule, and you must know from our previous lecture. Okay, and this is integration by parts rule. So you have to use these rules for finding definite integral. So now what is actually consumer surplus? Consumer surplus is the difference between consumer willingness to pay and the actual amount paid by the consumer for any goods and services. So first of all, how to compute this? Demand function is represented in terms of quantity, you must know. So consumer surplus can be found lower limit to upper limit 0 to QE and f of q dq. Here where q is the quantity and p is the price and q is the quantity. This is the total revenue, okay, total revenue, and willing to pay total. This is another revenue. If their subtraction will be positive, then we get the consumer surplus. And demand function is represented by in the form, okay, price, initial price and the final price, okay, to final price, first price to up to second price. The demand function will be represented by this. So this is the formula for representing consumer surplus. Similarly, what is the producer surplus? Producer surplus is the difference between what the producer is willing to receive to supply a good and actual amount of receipt. Literally, the profit of a company or producer is called producer surplus. So how to compute this? The supply function is represented in terms of quantity. In that case, for producer must supply the goods. This is why this depends on producer surplus depends on supply function and can be calculated with the formula PE initial price, okay, and QE initial quantity, total revenue, initial revenue minus the after supplying the revenue. Okay, so supply function is represented by the terms this ZP is equal to actually supply function here. And graphically representation of consumer and producer surplus. This is the on y-axis price P1 PE dot dot P and price at equilibrium point. Okay, this is the equilibrium point, and this is the demand curve. Okay, this colorful curve is demand curve, and green color is the supply curve. So pink color is demand curve, and supply curve is the green curve. And these meet at a point which is called equilibrium points. And along x-axis quantity and along x-axis price. So after a point meeting P, we get equilibrium point. And at equilibrium point, if we draw a perpendicular on y-axis, we get two parts actually. Okay, at equilibrium point, price greater than and less than. Okay, so this less than will be producer surplus. This area, yellow area is called actually producer surplus, and consumer surplus is the green area. Okay, that means before the point, equilibrium point, price before indicate consumer surplus, and it's depend on demand function. Okay, demand function. Similarly, producer yellow part, that means producer surplus depend on supply curve. Okay, this is why producer surplus depend on supply function and consumer surplus depend on demand function. We have to remember it. So before starting, actually, what is definite integration? You must know the definite integral of f of x between the values of a and b is indicated by this formula. F of x will be the original function, and after integration, we have to put lower limit and upper limit. Then it indicates this area, and it is also indicated by after integration f of b minus f of a. So this is the definition, and this is actually simple problem how to find the definite integral. Actually, x square differentiation, we have to use power rule, x to the power 2 plus 1 divided by 2 plus 1. That means x cubed by 3. And you have to put the limit, lower limit down and upper limit up. So after putting the value of upper limit, we get 2 cube. Okay. And minus, then after putting lower limit x equals to 1, we get 7 by 3. And this integration will be, this is the constant. So we have to use constant multiple rule. And in one integration x, this is why lower limit 2 and upper limit 6. After putting value of upper limit 6 minus, then putting lower limit x equals to 2. We get x equals to 2. This is a simple indication. So in the definition of definite integral, we can write the definite integral. This can be represented as the area bounded by the graph of f. This is actually along x-axis a to b. Okay, limit will be a to b, and the function will be f of x. So you have to find out this area, shaded area, and the x-axis and the vertical lines x equals to a. This is the vertical line x equals to a, and this is another line x equals to b. So we have to find the area bounded these two lines. This is called definite integral definition. Now, what will be the consumer surplus from the previous idea? The difference between value to the consumers and to the market represented by the area under the demand curve and over the price line. This is actually demand curve, and demand curve coming from top of the y-axis. Okay, so this is the price and this is the quantity, and this shaded area will indicate the area bounded by demand curve or demand function is called consumer surplus. Okay, this is called consumer surplus. And if we find out the area by integrating the demand function from from 0 to Q1. Okay, we get the consumer surplus. So more frequently, we can find out the formula like this: consumer surplus equal to 0 to Q1 from the graph. Demand function with integration of demand function with respect to quantity minus price and quantity multiply. This is the revenue. Okay, this is also revenue. So this difference between two revenue is called consumer surplus. Now, similarly, what will be the producer surplus? Difference between market value and total cost of producers represented by the area over the supply curve and the under the price line. Okay, this is actually a supply curve, and bounded by the area of supply curve is called producer surplus. And producer surplus depend on the supply function. Remember it. So if we find out the area between these two, 0 to Q1, and over the supply function, we get the consumer surplus. And consumer surplus, producer surplus will be represented by the formula. So initial revenue, price multiply quantity minus area bounded by the supply. Okay. So for example, find a measure consumer surplus at quantity 5 units for the demand function P equals to this. Now we'll try to solve actually some problems. Okay, now we'll try to solve this 4 problem. Actually, in each problem, there are given demand function and supply function. We have to find out the consumer surplus and producer surplus. So let us start the solve the problem. So first of all, what is consumer surplus? By the definition, we can write actually consumer surplus. Suppose this is the along the y-axis and this is the x-axis. See, starting from 0, and this is the x and this is the price. Okay, so you must know consumer surplus depend on demand function, and demand function is represented by like this. So suppose this is the equilibrium point, and because this is the supply function, so this demand function is denoted by dx and supply function denoted by sx. So this is the equilibrium point, and equilibrium point, if we join this is the x naught. Okay, this is the quantity or number of units, and this is the actually p naught. That means price at equilibrium point. So this is the actually total revenue x naught p naught we can write. Now this is, if we shade this area, and this shaded area is indicated by actually consumer surplus, CS. Okay, CS, consumer surplus. So this area, how we can find? By just integrating dx from what? 0 to x naught. We get this whole area, and this area is called consumer surplus. So integrate 0 to x naught, demand function with respect to x, and this shaded area minus the area of this parallelogram, x naught p naught will indicate consumer surplus. Okay, so this is the actually formula for consumer surplus. Now similarly, what will be the producer surplus? Suppose this shaded area will be depend on the supply function Sx. So to find out this, just total area, this will be producer surplus can be found, and this depend on supply curve. Remember it. So this is the total area. Total area what will be x naught p naught, total revenue. Okay, x naught p naught. From 0 to x naught, the whole area will be the area of parallelogram. That means length multiplied breadth. So, and if we subtract 0 to x naught area, 0 to x naught area of supply function. of supply function, then we get the producer surplus. Then this is called actually producer surplus area. This shaded area will be producer surplus area. Okay, this one area is the producer surplus area, and this area is the consumer surplus area. So there will be two formula for that. Okay. Okay, now we'll try to solve the example 2. There are given two functions. One is demand function, p equals to 36 minus x square, and supply function, p equals to 6 plus x square by p, where p is the price and x is the quantity or number of units. Now we have to find out the consumer surplus and producer surplus for this problem. So we are given p equals to given demand function dx equals to what? P equals to demand function p equals to 36 minus x square, and supply function sx equals to p equals to what will be 6 plus x square by 4. 6 plus x square by 4. So under pure competition of market, under pure competition, we can write demand function equals to what? Supply function. So we get 36 minus x square equals to 6 plus x square by 4, or x square by 4 plus x square equals to 36 minus 6, or after taking LCM, we get 4x square by 4 equals to 30, or 5x square equals to 30 multiply 4 divided by 30 multiply 4, or x square equals to 30 multiply 4 divided by 5. So this we get only 24. So this 24, we have to take x equals to root over 24. That means we get plus minus 3 multiply 8, or 4 multiply 6. So this will be, can be written as 2 root over 6. But quantity can never be negative. X cannot be negative. Okay. This is why the initial quantity will be x naught will be 2 root over 6. Okay. 2 root over 6. So at x naught equals to 2 root over 6, p naught what will be? P naught from the any function of demand or supply. So from the first demand function 36 minus x square means what? 2 root over 6 whole square. So this equals to 36 minus 24. This equals to actually what will be? We get 12. So we get the area. That means if we draw the curve, suppose this is the demand function 36 minus x square, and at this point equilibrium point will be what? 2 root over 6 comma 12. Okay, 2 root over 6 comma 12, and this area will be given by the consumer surplus. Okay, so it is the 0, and this is the x naught, and this is the p naught. Okay, this is the price. price along the y-axis and along the x-axis the quantity. Now we have to find out the we have to find out consumer surplus. Okay, so consumer surplus formula you must know from our definition. We know consumer surplus equals to CS. This will be CS equals to, what will be the formula? Consumer surplus 0 to x naught area of demand function minus P naught, this area. Okay, if we subtract the whole area, this whole area 0 to x naught of demand function minus this rectangular area, we get the consumer surplus. So 0 to x naught, what was 2 root over 6 minus 2 root over 6. Demand function what was 36 minus x square dx, and x naught what was 2 root over 6, and p naught equals to 12. So this is a very easy integration. 0 to 2 root over 6 1 dx minus 0 to 2 root over 6 x square dx minus 24 root over 6. So 36, one integration will be x from number 2 formula 0 to 2 root over 6 minus x square formula, what will be 2 plus 1 divided by 2 plus 1. This is using power rule. 0 to 2 root over 6 minus 24 root over 6. Okay. So just simplifying 36, putting upper limit in place of x, 2 root over 6 minus putting lower limit, x equals to 0. This is the 1 by 3 and this is the x cube. Okay, 0 to 2 root over 6 minus 24 6. So this is the 72 root over 6 minus 1 by 3, 2 root over 6 whole cube minus 0 cube. Okay, 24 root over 6. So from this 72 minus 24, 36 root over 6, and this will be 2 cube means what? 8 multiply 8 root over 6 whole cube means what? 6 root over 6. So 6 and 3 will be cut by 2. So 8 is 16. So 36, 36 minus this will be 16 root 6. So this will be 72 root over 6 and this will be 24 root over 6. So 72 root over 6 minus 16 root over 6, 24 root over 6. This equals to what will be? This equals to 32 root over 6. So we get the consumer surplus is actually 32 root over 6. So similarly, we can get the producer surplus. So producer surplus, producer surplus, same formula. Producer surplus will be same formula. producer surplus PS equals to X naught P naught minus the area bounded by supply function. Okay, supply function. That means we can write the graph. Supply function will be like this, and this is the equilibrium point, and this bounded area will be the producer surplus PS, and this is the X naught and 0. So, and this is the P naught. This is the price line, and this is the quantity line. So this to find out this area, we have to subtract this from to find out this area, bounded area, we have to subtract from this parent X naught P naught rectangular area. Okay. So X naught what was 2 root over 6. Okay. 2 root over 6, and P naught what 12. 0 to 2 root over 6, and supply function was for 6 plus x square by 4 dx. Now we can find out the producer surplus easily. So this will be 24 root over 6 minus 6, 0 to 2 root over 6 plus minus, and 1 by 4 will be constant. So 0 to 2 root over 6 x square dx. 24 root over 6 minus 6. One integration what? X. Just putting upper limit and lower limit. Minus 1 by 4. So x cube formula what will be? X to the power 2 plus 1 divided by 2 plus 1. That means power rule using rule number 1. 2 root over 6 minus 0 minus 4 multiply 1 by 3. This is the x cube. So 2 root over 6 whole cube minus 0 cube. Okay. So 24 root over 6 minus 12 root over 6. And this will be 2 cube 8. And 8 root 6 whole cube means what? 6 root over 6. That means 4 multiply 3. So 24 root over 6. 24 root over 6. We get easily minus 12 root over 6 to 4 root over 6. So this equals to 8 root over 6. So this will be the value of producer surplus. Now similarly, example 3, we are given actually demand function dx equals to p is the price, 8 divided by x plus 1 minus 2, and supply function p equals to half into x plus 3. So under pure competition, demand function equals to supply function at equilibrium point or break-even point. So for the both quantity, we can write 8 divided by x plus 1 minus 2 equals to half x plus 3, or just taking LCM here, x plus 1, 8 minus twice x minus 2 equals to x plus 3 divided by 2, or we get 6 minus twice x divided by x plus 1, x plus 3 divided by 2, or x plus 1 into x plus 3 equals to 12 minus 4x, but by cross multiplication. So we get multiplying this 12 minus 4x, or x square plus 4x plus 4x minus plus 3 and minus 12 equal to 0 by alternating. So we get x square plus 8x minus 9 equals to 0. So By factorizing, we can write middle term factor plus 9x minus x minus 9 equals to 0. X will be common, x plus 9 minus 1 will be common, x plus 9. So we get x plus 9, x minus 1 equals to 0. So after this line, you can write either x plus 9 equals to 0 or x minus 1 equals to 0. So therefore, we get x equals to minus 9 and x equals to 1. But quantity can never be negative. So x cannot be minus 9. Therefore, the accepted value is x equals to 1, x not equals to 1. So x not equals to, we get easily 1. And for this, p not equals to what will be? P not equals to, from second supply function, we can write x not equals to 1 plus 3. That means we get p not equals to 2. Now we can find easily the consumer surplus and producer surplus. Okay, so now try to find out the consumer surplus and producer surplus. So from this formula, we can by using this formula, we can find out the consumer surplus as the previous example. So consumer surplus will be the function 0 to x not equals to actually 1, quantity 1, and demand function what was 8 divided by x plus 1 minus 2. Okay, dx minus x not 1 and price also 2. So actually 0 to 1 by using sum rule, 1 divided by x plus 1 dx minus 2, 0 to 1, 1 integration, this minus 2. 1 by x formula what? Log x. Okay, log x. And the upper limit and lower limit will be bounded by third bracket. 2, 1 integration what will be x? 0 to 1 minus 2. So 8, just putting upper limit in the place of x, we get 1 plus 1. Minus putting lower limit, log 0 plus 1. Okay. So this will be 1 minus 0 minus 2. We get log 2 minus log 1 minus 2 minus 2. So after this one, we can write 8 log 2 minus 4. And this is the actually result, because you must know log 1 equals to 0. Okay. And there is an integration of 1 by x, formula what? Log x or ln x. Just using this formula here. Okay. Now similarly, producer surplus formula. We know producers surplus PS equals to what will be x naught P naught area 0 to x naught supply function area. Okay. So 1 multiplied 2 minus 0 to 1 supply function. What was? We are given half into x plus 3. So this 0 to 1 and half will x, half will be multiplied dx minus half into 3, 1 integration. There is no variable. This is why we have to use 1 to find out the integration. So 2 minus half x integration, what will be? X square by 2, because using power rule, x to the power 1 plus 1 divided by 1 plus 1. So x square by 2 and 0 to 1 minus 3 by 2, 1 integration x. Just putting upper limit and lower limit. This will be 1 by 4, 1 square minus 0 square. 3 by 2, 1 minus 0. To 1 by 4 minus 3 by 2. This value what? We get LCM 4 here. 8 minus 2 minus 6. This will be x square by 2 and here 3 by 2. So only minus 3 by 2 plus minus minus, and this is the 1 by 4. So after simplifying, we get 2 minus 1 by 4 minus 3 by 2. Taking LCM, we get 8 minus 1 and 4 divided by 2 equals to 2. 2 multiply 3 will be 6. So we get easily 1 by 4. So the producer surplus is 1 by 4 for the third problem. Now, for the fourth problem, example number 4. In problem 4, demand function given demand function equals to y equals to 16 minus x square. Y equals to 16 minus x square, where x is the quantity and y is the price. So and supply function also given y equals to 2x square plus 4. 2x square plus 4. So under pure competition, you must know from the demand and under pure competition of market price, demand function equals to what will be? Supply function. Okay. So from these two, we can write demand function 16 minus x square equals to twice x square plus 4, or twice x square plus x square equals plus 4 minus 16. Sorry, equals to 16 minus 4, or 3x square equals to 12, or x square equals to 4. Therefore, x equals to plus minus 2. But quantity can never be negative. X equals to minus 2 is not accepted. This is why the initial quantity x naught equals to 2. For this x naught, the price will be at this x naught equals to 2. Price will be given by 16 minus from the demand function 2 whole square. That means 16 minus 4 equals to 12. So Now we'll try to find out the consumer surplus similar using similar formula. Now we know consumer surplus CS equals to what formula? Area bounded by demand function minus x naught p naught. Area bounded by the initial price and quantity. So this can be written as this equals to 0 to what will be 0 to 2, and demand function was what? 16 minus x square dx, and x naught 2 quantity, and price will be at 2, price will be 12. So 16 0 to 2 1 integration minus 0 to 2 x square integration minus 24. This is equal to 1 integration will be x, and upper limit lower limit will be 0 to 2 minus x square integration will be x cube by 3 using power rule 2 plus 1 divided by 2 plus 1. So x cube by 3, 0 to 2 minus 24. 16 x equals to 2 minus 0 minus 1 by 3. So 2 cube minus 0 cube, okay, minus 24. This equals to 32 minus 8 by 3 minus 24. 32 minus 24 what? 32 minus 24 will be 8. Okay. 8 minus 8 by 3. So 16 by 3. This is the actually consumer surplus for us. And this approximately can be written as 5.33. Similarly, for the producer surplus. Similarly, now we know producer surplus PS equals to what will be area bounded by the initial price and quantity x naught p naught minus area bounded by the supply function. Okay, so 2 multiply initial price and quantity will be 2 and 12. So 0 to 2 supply function what was? Supply function twice x square by plus 4 dx. 24 minus 2 0 to 2 x square dx minus 4 1 integration only because there is no variable 0 to 2. 24 minus this will be x cube by 3 integration, just putting 0 to 2 4 x integration 0 to 2. 24 minus 2 by 3 constant, and 2 cube minus 0 cube minus 4 2 minus 0. 4 minus 8 16 by 3 minus 8. 16 minus 16 by 3. So this equals to can be written as 32 by 3. Okay. This is the required producer surplus for the problem. Now problem 4, the demand and supply function are given and we have to determine the consumer surplus under monopoly so as to maximize the profit. And the supply function is identified with marginal cost. Okay. So supply function will be indicated as marginal cost. So we are given actually demand function to 12 minus twice x whole square and cost function will be, or supply function will be 56 plus 4x. Now total revenue, we must know total revenue equals to number of units produced multiply demand function. Okay, this is the formula, or price. Okay, this is the price equals to demand function, you must know, or this can be written as x multiply p. Okay, so this can be calculated as demand function equals to 12 minus twice x whole square. This is equals to 12 whole square minus 2 multiply 12 into twice ab plus 4x square. That means I minus b whole square formula. So this equals to, we can write 144x 48 x square plus 4x cube. Okay, this is the total revenue. So total revenue, we can write this. Now marginal revenue, what will be marginal revenue, MR, can be found just differentiating this ddx, differentiating revenue with respect to x. Okay, so ddx of 144x minus 48 x square plus 4x cube. Therefore, marginal revenue can be found differentiation 144 x differentiation 1. Okay, 1 and 48 x square differentiation, what will be 2 into x to the power 2 minus 1, just using power rule, 4 into using same power differentiation. Okay, so 144 minus 96 x square plus 12 96x plus 12 x square. This is actually marginal revenue. Remember it. Marginal revenue. And this is equation number 1. Suppose this is the equation number 1. And you must know marginal cost is identified by the supply function. So in order to find consumer surplus under monopoly, this is the given condition, that is maximize profit. To maximize profit, we must have marginal revenue equals to marginal cost. Marginal cost is identified by the supply function. That means this equals to marginal cost. Remember it, according to the given condition. So using the condition, marginal revenue equals to what? We can write marginal 144 minus 96 minus 96 minus 96 x plus 12 x square. This equals to marginal cost, what? Identified by the supply function. That means 56 plus 4x. Or we can write what? This equals to, so 12x square minus 19x minus 4x. What will be? Minus 100x. plus 144 minus 56. What will be? Plus 88. Okay. 88 equals to 0. Okay. Now just simplifying. Okay. So 4 common, 3x square minus 25x plus 22 equals to 0. So from this line, after this line, we can write just what will be, or dividing by 4 we get for omitting 3 multiply 22. This will be 66. So factorizing this one, we can write 66 can be written as 66. This will be 2, 3, 3, and 3, 11. Okay. Now how we get 25? 11 2 is 22 plus 3. Okay. So thrice x square minus 22x minus thrice x the values of x. So after simplification, or after this line, we can write 3 3x square minus 22x minus thrice x. So after this line, we can write 3 thrice x square minus 22 twice x. We can take common x. The x common will be give 3 minus, sorry, x minus x minus 22. Thrice x minus 22 minus 1 common thrice x minus 22 equals to 0. Equals to 0. So or thrice x minus 22 into x minus 1 equals to 0. Either thrice x minus 22 equals to 0 or x minus 1 equals to 0. Therefore, x equals to 22 by 3 and x equals to 1. So there are two values for initial quantity. Now, when x not equals to 22 by 3, then price equals to what will be? P not equals to, then price P not equals to will be 22 minus x whole square. Okay, x means what? 22 by 3 whole square. So from the demand function, we get easily 64 by 9. So this is the P naught. Now in this case, consumer surplus, we know again when x not equals to 1 then P naught equals to what will be 2 minus 1 whole square equals to 21 whole square, right? So 21, sorry, 12 minus, then from the demand function, this will be 12. Sorry, this will be 12. So 12 minus twice x. So this will be 10 whole square equals to what will be 100. Because 12 minus twice x, demand function was 12 minus twice x. This will be minus 2 into twice x. Okay. We know consumer surplus CS equals to what will be area between the curve of demand function minus total revenue of initial quantity and price. Okay. So for x naught equals to 22 by 3, consumer surplus will be what? Consumer surplus will be, in that case, demand function 0 to 22 by 3. 0 to 22 by demand function will be what? 144 minus 48x. 144 minus 48x plus 4x square dx minus x naught equals to what? 22 by 3. And in that case, if 22 by 3 x naught, then price at x naught what? 64 by 9. This equals to 0 to 22 by 3. 1 integration dx minus 48 0 to 22 by 3 x dx plus 4 0 to 22 by 3 x square integration minus 22 by 3 multiply 64 by 9. So this integration what? 144 integration only x 0 to 22 by 3 minus 48 x integration what? X square by 2 using power rule 0 22 by 3 plus 4 x square will be x cube by 3 using power rule x to the power 2 plus 1 divided by 2 plus 1. So same procedure. So this will be 22 multiply 64 divided by 27. 144 20 by 2 by 3 minus 0 minus 48 by 24 multiply 22 22 by 3 whole square minus 0 whole square plus 4 by 3 22 by 3 whole square minus 0 whole square. Sorry, cube. This will be cube minus 22 multiply 64 by 27. So easily we can write this one. So after this calculation, we can find the consumer surplus will be, after this calculation, we can write consumer surplus will be so after this line we can write 19,360 19,360 divided by 81 units. This is the actually consumer surplus for x not equals to 22 by 3 and price 64 by 9. Again, for x not equals to 1, consumer surplus will be what? Area bounded by the demand function between 0 to 1 units minus area bounded by the rectangle with initial price and quantity. Okay, by the definition of so this equals to 0 to 1 demand function will be same demand function 144 minus 48x plus 4x square dx, and x naught will be 1 and at the price will be 100. So similar 0 to 1 integration minus 48 constant 0 to 1 x dx 4 0 to 1 integration 100. So 144 1 integration will be only x using formula number 2 minus 48 using power rule. We get x square by 2 integration x to the power 1 plus 1 divided by 1 plus 1 using power rule plus similarly using power rule x to the power 2 plus 1 divided by 2 plus 1, that means x cube by 3 0 to 1. So 144 1 minus 0 using value putting upper values minus and putting lower values. This will be 24 48 by 2 means 24, then 1 square minus 0 square plus 4 by 3 1 cube minus 0 cube minus 24 plus 4 by 3 minus 100. So we get easily 64 by 3 units. So in both cases, for x not equals to 22 by 3, we got this consumer surplus units. And for x not equals to 1, we get the consumer surplus is 64 by 3. So we solved actually 4 problems, and in 4 problems, 2 functions were given. One is consumer surplus, one is demand function, other is supply function. So to find the consumer surplus, we have used demand function, and to find out the producer surplus, we have used supply function. So we have to remember these 2 points. Okay, now we'll discuss another types of problem. Similar problem you can solve. Find a measure of consumer surplus at quantity 5 and the demand function P equals to 30 minus 4Q. So this example, in this example, we are given P price equals to, quantity equals to 5. If quantity equals to 5, then price can be found 30 minus 4 into 5. That means price will be 10. Okay. So the picture can be found like this, sketching price P equals to 30 minus 4Q intercepts at 0, 30, because if Q equals to, if P equals to price equals to, price equals to 0, then Q equals to what will be? If Q equals to 0, then price equals to 30. Okay, so QP. Similarly, if price is 0, then Q equals to 7.5. So we can draw this curve. If Q1 equals to 5, this, and if Q equals to 7.5, and if P equals to 30, then we can join this. So since P equals to 10, base price is 10 and base quantity is 5. So this is actually P naught, Q naught for us. Now consumer surplus will be this. Very easy. Okay, we can draw this graph. Now we can calculate the consumer surplus using the same formula. Okay, to entire area under the curve, under the demand curve, the given demand function. So 0 to 5, 0 to x naught means what? 0 to 5. Unit will be, quantity will be 5. So we get only 30. So total revenue under the price line will be P1 Q1, that means 50. So consumer surplus will be this 100 minus this, that means 50. Very easy. Similarly, example 2, if the given price given 3 plus Q square is the supply curve, and find a measure of produced surplus at Q equals to 4. That means quantity were given 4. So evaluate a price P at quantity 4. Then if Q equals to 4, then price will be what? 3 plus 4 square, that means 19. So we can plot this. This is the supply function P equals to 3 plus Q. It intercepts 0, 3. That means if Q equals to 0, then P equals to what? 3. Okay. Q equals to 0, then P equals to what? 3 only. So 0, 3. So 0, 3, 0, 3 is the intercept line. So price at Q equals to 4, P equals to 19. So in that case, P1 equals to 19 and Q1 equals to what? 4. So we can draw the parallelogram rectangle, and Q equals to intercept line. We can draw the line of supply curve. So supply curve, we are given 3 plus Q square. Okay, this is the supply curve. So this is the producer surplus because this area lies under the line, price line. Okay, so now we can evaluate the producer surplus by using supply function using the same formula we have solved. So 0 to 4, quantity 4, and this is the supply function. So area under the curve, supply curve, we get 33 by 3. So total revenue P1 Q1 you must know, price multiply total quantity. So 76. So producer surplus will be 76 minus this area under the supply curve. So very easy. Similarly, example 2, the inverse demand and supply functions for good are respectively. That means demand function, this is the supply function. So find the market equilibrium values if of P price and Q quantity, and find the total surplus, consumer surplus and producer surplus when the market is in equilibrium. So at equilibrium point, supply function and demand function will be equal. So Q equals to what? We get 4, quantity 4. And the equilibrium point, putting Q equals to 4 in any function of demand or supply, we get only price equals to what? 6. Putting the value of Q in demand function, we get 6. So quantity 4 units and price 6 units. Now you can sketch the graph. This is the quantity and this is the price. So price will be P equals to 6 at 6 and Q equals to 4. This will be the rectangle. Okay, rectangle for total revenue at base point, base quantity and price. Now at Q equals to 2, supply curve starting. Okay, this is the supply function and this is the demand function. Okay, demand curve. So this is the consumer surplus and this is the producer surplus. Okay, area bounded by the consumer demand function will be consumer surplus, and area bounded by the supply curve will be called producer surplus. So now we have to find out these two. Now consumer surplus formula, this the area under the entire demand curve. So demand function 0 to 4 bounded by the quantity 0 to 4 demand function. So integrating we get 40. So total revenue P1 Q1 or we get 24. So consumer surplus will be what? 40 minus 24. That means 16. Similarly, producer surplus will be same Similar formula of previous examples I have solved in board. So area under the curve, supply curve will be this 0 to quantity 4 supply function with respect to Q quantity. So we get 16 after integrating. Total revenue will be PQ equals to 24. So producer surplus will be what? 24 minus 16 from the graph. So we get easily 8. So total surplus will be what? Total surplus equals to what? Consumer surplus plus producer surplus. Very easy example for you. So I hope everybody will understand this one, and we can solve many other problems also. So now another problem for you. Similar problem. The marginal cost function of a farm, marginal cost is given log x whole square. Find the total cost of 100 units if the cost of producing 1 unit is taka rupees 22. And another one, the additional cost in lakh of rupees of producing a motor car is given by this. This is the cost function. When x is the quantity produced, determine the total cost producing 5 motor cars if the fixed cost is taka 7 lakh. It is given that e to the power minus 5 equals to 0.06. Actually, using scientific calculator, we can find out this one. So we can solve this one. Marginal cost given log x whole square. So marginal cost function, to find cost function, that means dc dx. Marginal cost means formula, using formula dc dx. So dc equals to what will be? Log x whole square. So integrating on both sides, we get integrating with respect to 1 will be x. So here c with respect to c, this is by c. So log x whole square, we can write integrating by parts. Okay, UV process. By using UV process, taking u equals to log x whole square. Okay, u into ddx of b minus ddx of u, integration of b, then taking integration of their product. So we get this one. So x log x whole square 2 log x into 1. Now 2 log x by xx will be cancelled. Again log x integration what will be? X log x minus 1 minus x. So after integration we get this. K is the integral constant because c is the cost here. So we have used k as a integral constant. But usually we use c as integral constant, but here c is present for cost. This is why we are using k as a integral constant. Now cost producing 1 unit is given by what? 22 rupees. This is why for 1 unit x equals to 1, c equals to what will be? X equals to 1, log 1 equals to 0. This is why k equals to what will be? 20. Okay, k equals to 20. 20. So cost function is given by just putting value of k in this total cost function. So putting value, we get this one. Now another problem, additional cost was given as the marginal cost was what? 6 plus 4x square plus 1.5 e to the power x. So marginal cost means for dc dx 6 plus 4x square plus 1.5 e to the power minus x. So taking integration on both sides, we get this one. E to the power minus x formula, e to the power minus x, but we have to divide with the coefficient of x. Coefficient of x what? Minus 1. Okay, this is why minus multiplied. So here use k is the integral constant. Now we are given fixed cost what? 1 lakh in rupees. Okay. So at fixed cost, quantity produced is 0. This is why x equals to 0 and c equals to what? 7 lakh. This is given. Fixed cost was given in question 7 lakh. This is why putting c equals to 7 and x equals to 0 in their total cost. So we get k equals to 8.5. So this is the fixed cost. C equals to 6x plus 4x, just putting value of k in this equation. Okay. Now cost producing 5 motor cars. Okay, number of units what? 5. This is why putting x equals to 5 in total cost, we get the total cost of 5 motor cars. Okay, this is the 5 motor cars. So total cost will be 205.16 lakh in rupee. Now another problem, if the marginal revenue function for output x is given by marginal revenue this, find the total revenue function and demand function. Similarly, another example, the price elasticity of demand for a commodity is pi d equals to this, where p is the price, find the corresponding demand function. If the quantity demanded is 8 units, quantity is given what 8 units, when price is 2 in rupees. So in that case, marginal revenue for the first problem given this. So marginal revenue formula dx, rate of change of revenue with respect to x, is called marginal revenue. So this one given. So multiplying dx on both sides and taking integration on both sides, we get the formula x to the power, and using power rule, we get this twice x plus 3 whole to the power minus 2. So minus 2 plus 1 divided by minus 2 plus 1. So we get 1 integration x, and is the integral constant. So we get this one revenue. Now when producing is 0, revenue is also 0. So before producing any products, revenue was what? 0. This is why if x equals to 0, then r equals to 0. Just putting this condition in this equation, we get k equals to 2 by 3. So revenue equals to, just putting k equals to 2 by 3 in here, we get total revenue here function. Now average revenue, what will be? R by x, just dividing by number of units, okay? R by x, just dividing by x, we get this one. So average revenue is this. Now second problem, this is the phi d is given function given, and this can be written as id is can be written as minus px divided by dx dp. So just putting this one, we can write solving this using partial fraction method. So we can solve by using partial fraction, this method. Just there will be two constant. So a equals to minus 1 and b equals to 1. So putting the value of ab, we can easily integrate the both of the part of this integration. So 1 by x formula log x, and 1 by using same formula 1 log p minus 1 log p plus 2. And log k is the integral constant, because in both sides all term are log. This is why log k are used for constant. So x equals to here given this one. Now another problem 5. Suppose that when an industrial machine is t years old, it generates the revenue at rate r dash rate, one first derivative with respect to t will be given this per year, and result in cost accumulated the rate. This is also derivative of cost with respect to time, rupees per year. For how many years is the use of machine profitable, and what are the net earning generated by the machine during its period of probability? So we are given for finding that there is number of years for the profitable use of machine. We have to equal the rate of revenue with respect to time, and equals the rate of cost rate of change of cost with respect to time. This will be this both rate of cost and revenue will be same. So using these two function, we have found t is the 8 years. Okay. Now net earning generated by the machine during the profitable period. So profitable period will be profit equals to what? Profitable period we are given, actually profit equals to revenue minus cost. So profitable, to find out the total profit, we have to integrate with respect to 0 to 8. Okay, 0 to 8, because we have to find out the time about for 8 hours, 8 years. Okay, so 0 to 8 years. So revenue minus cost. Now these are given. R dash t also given, and c dash t also given. So actually this difference will be 1344 minus 2t square. Okay, just using this difference. Now integrating easily, one integration will be t with respect to t dt, and t square integration what will be t cube by 3. Okay, now putting upper limit and lower limit, just using t equals to 8 in whole minus t equals to 0, upper limit minus lower limit, we get approximately 7168. Now producer surplus, you must know about this. So this is the graphical presentation of consumer producer surplus. We have used and solved some problem. So we have solved this problem in both the consumer and producer surplus under the pure competition. Demand function is this, and supply function is also this quantity. Now, similarly, the demand function of a monopolist is x equals to 210 minus thrice p, and his average cost is given this when p is the price and x refers the price and quantity respectively of the commodity. Determine consumer surplus at the price and quantity which the monopoly would like to fixed. So we have solved here also. Demand and supply is equal for pure competition. So x equals to what? 1. And at x equals to 1, price will be 2. Just putting x equals to 1 in demand function. Now for consumer surplus, area bounded by the demand function within the range 0 to x naught minus that revenue within x naught and quantity x naught and price p naught. So this difference, just putting these values, we get very easy one. Now another problem, demand function given this. So from here p equals to, we get 70 minus x by 3. So average cost will be x plus 6. This also given. So c equals to, we can write average cost multiply total cost multiply x. So from average cost, we can write total cost equals to what? Average, we know average cost equals to c by x. This is why c equals to what will be s into x. Okay. And revenue equals to price multiply number of units or quantity. So r equals to, we get this one. Now under monopoly, the equation is achieved when marginal revenue and marginal cost are same. So marginal revenue, what? Differentiation of revenue. Okay. Differentiation of revenue. Revenue is this, just taking derivatives. Okay, ddx. On both sides, we get marginal revenue. And similarly, marginal cost will be what? Taking derivatives of total cost. Total cost what? This one. Total cost, just taking ddx. We get marginal. And these two are same for monopoly. Okay. Marginal revenue equals to marginal cost. From this, we get x. X equals to quantity. Base quantity is 24. For base quantity, x not equals to 24. Price equals to what? Just putting x equals to 24 here or here. Anyone. Okay. 10 minus 24 by 3. So 62. So consumer surplus, we must know consumer surplus equals to what? Area bounded by demand function between the quantity 0 and x naught minus total revenue for the p naught price and x naught new quantity. So just putting this value, demand function will be what? 10 minus twice x by 3. Okay. Just putting these values, we get 96 units. After producing 35 units of a product, the production manager determines that the production facility is following the learning curve of the firm. F of x equals to 300 minus 190 e to the power minus twice x, where f of x is the rate of labor hours required to produce x unit. How many labor hours would be required to produce additional 25 units? Now, how to solve this one? In this question belongs to the concept of learning curve. Learning curve is used to predict future, reducing its labor requirements. So to find the total number of labor hours required to produce units, numbered 35 through additional 25 units is given by. So 35 to 60, another 35. So 25 plus 35 will be 60. So 35 to 60, the area bounded by the function f of x will be this. This is given function f of x, 300 minus 190 to the power minus twice x. Now integration, 300 will be constant. So 1 integration x and e to the power minus twice x will be e to the power minus twice x. But we have to divide with the coefficient of x. That means minus 2. So dividing by minus 2, we get minus minus plus and 190 by 2 what? 95. Now putting upper limit here, value of x, this minus putting lower limit 0, 35. So we get labor hours what? 700, 7,500. Okay. So we can solve easily this problem. This is given left for you for practice at home. So thank you. Thanks to everybody. I hope everybody will practice the problem, and thanks to everybody. Bye for today. Best wishes for you.